Today on the channel, a brand new beginner FPV drone. Guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Justin Davis, and if you are a beginner getting into the FPV hobby, this is a great place to be. Drone Camps RC has helped millions of people around the world get into the FPV hobby and learn from the ground level and go from zero to hero. So a lot of people come back years later and they thank us for getting them into FPV, and you are no different because, well, we have a brand new giveaway, and this video right here is not just a review but also a giveaway video. If you comment and subscribe in the comments down below, let us know where you're from, you'll be entered to win the Eachine Wizard V2 right here sitting to my left, and also an iFlight Commander radio, which is going to be given away, and it's ELRS version. So pair that up with your battery, your charger, and go out and fly and start flying FPV on the 5-inch scale. But before that, it's great to get started with something small, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Starting indoors, it's the way to go on a 1S battery. It's under 250 grams. You don't have to register it with the FAA. And if you want to come fly with us, we also do events. We do live events every month now in the Oregon, Washington, and California region. If you'd like to meet up with us, we have a group called FPV West. You can check out our Facebook link down below. Join up with us and come fly with us, meet me, make some friends. The next event will be later November this month, and that event is going to be called Whoops and Brews. So come out, have some brews, and fly with us and have some fun. It is a fun fly and not a race, so it's just for pure fun and enjoyment of FPV drones. But let's go ahead and get started with today's review, the Petrol V2. It's been such a long time since I've seen the Petrol series come around, and this one is fun. It is a 75mm 0802 with a brand new flight controller on here, an F4 flight controller with brand new Betaflight firmware, and you can get it in two versions. You can get it in the Crossfire version. I have the Crossfire Nano on mine with a little tiny Immortal T in the back, and you can get it for ELRS version receiver on the top. You can bind up with the SPI receiver there if you have an ELRS radio. That's pretty cool. But without further ado, let's go ahead and fire up this little Petrol V2 now and fly it around the house, and I'll give you a live real-time review and from a pilot's honest perspective on this brand new Petrol V2. So let's go ahead and get started now. Let's do some flying, and after that we'll come back to the bench. We'll check out the Petrol V2 on the bench, and I'll give you my opinion on what this quad's all about, and I'll let you see my brand new Whoop Store V3 that I have. This is the only 1S charger that will actually do a storage charge for 1S batteries. So this is a cool charger, and it's been selling out batches. So I'll put a link down below to this and the Petrol V2, as well as my favorite 1S batteries. You can check them out in the link below. Without further ado, again, let's go ahead and start flying. The Petrol 75 V2 weighs in at 29.9 grams. Not bad for the size. 1S450 from Betaflight, that's going to get you up to around 41.2 grams total takeoff weight. And this is the box you get when you order the Petrol 75 V2. It's also a storage case, which is kind of cool. If we open this tab up here, you can see the drone stores inside, and it doesn't hit the top of the box. There's plenty of room inside the foam, and they have slots in here that you can get extra batteries into once you take the accessories out. And let me show you the accessories included in this box. And this is what you get in the box. You get a propeller direction card, a safety manual, QR code there. You get the quad, extra props, and some stickers, a 90-degree turn from micro USB to a USB-C adapter for Betaflight, which is kind of nice, some extra rubber bands for connecting your battery. If your battery flies off and you lose the rubber band, they give you plenty of extras inside the box, a screwdriver, and again, the prop remover tool. And like I mentioned before, the quad fits in the box, but again, also you can use the slots in the bottom of the box for your batteries if you take them all along to our FPV West event to come fly with us. That's kind of cool. Now let's take a look at the quad itself. This is the V2 version like we mentioned before, and it comes with Crossfire Nano for around $160 bind and fly. If you want to buy it with the SPI ELRS version and save yourself a little bit of money, you can get it for around $130. And again, it is a 75mm wheelbase on this quad. And the frame itself appears quite durable. It does have kind of a rigid prop guard system here. It has 4 struts in each prop guard and a little bit more narrow kind of ducted system. It doesn't have a real deep duct here, so that's going to help with what we call washout or tumble. That's pretty good. It also has a pretty low profile top plate here for the camera mount, and it has 4 screws here that hold that top plate on, and it has a TPU part in the back with 1 screw through the very back part for my tiny Immortal T antenna to my TBS Crossfire, as well as the dipole sticking out there from the onboard VTX. And it really does have quite of a low profile, so that's kind of good for skirting through things and making gaps, especially if you're using this for racing. It should just fly through the gates. And the flight controller on here is that Spectre flight controller with 10 amp ESCs, and it's an AIO flight controller with an STM32 F411 chip on board. That's pretty cool. It has a BMI 270 gyro built in, and it has a 400 milliwatt adjustable VTX on board just underneath this canopy. And the mounting holes, if you're looking for replacing this flight controller, it is 25.5 by 25.5 millimeters using M2 hardware. And the power system on the Petrol V2 has been upgraded as well. It is the 0802 21,000 kV brushless motors, and they have the gem fan props on here. Those are 1610 2-blade props for a little more speed, a little less punch. If you want to do freestyle, you can upgrade these to some tri-blade props and you'll get a little more punch. And on the bottom of the quad, you can see the rubber band, the battery connector, the receiver right there, as well as plug and play motors coming off of each motor. So that means if you burn one out, you can just plug in a new one and you don't have to do any soldering on this quad, which is kind of cool. This one also supports BlueJ firmware and DShot 600 and multi-shot. It does come installed with BlueJ firmware on board. But again, if you want to pair it up with an awesome charger, let me show you my charger of choice right now for 1S batteries. This is the Whoop Store 3, and it has multiple types of options on here. It will charge the batteries that are compatible with this drone right here, and it has PH 2.0 connectors here. So you can charge up to 6 at once. You can also power it by XT60 on the side here, barrel connector on 12 volt, and a USB-C port right here from a battery bank. So it has plenty of venting here, and it has a built-in external fan, which is really great for keeping the airflow going through this charger. But what's great about this charger, and most people really like, is the fact that this will do a storage charge on 1S batteries. Most of the 1S battery chargers out there are not quite as intelligent as this charger, so that makes a big difference if you're flying 1S tiny whoops. But I do recommend this one, and you can check out the link down below for the Whoop Store 3. Okay, so let's give some final thoughts and my personal pilot's opinion on the brand new Petrol V2. I like the 75mm frame size. I have flown this one before. If I'm gonna go outside and fly, or fly inside. This one has a nice stability to it. It's a little more stable, but it also has a little more speed than a 65mm Whoop, which is just a little bit smaller than this one. That much, 10 millimeters in size, it does make a huge difference indoors and outdoors. So if you're looking for a little more speed, a little more agility outside, this one is a great one for outcut. The Petrol 75 is great for outside because it really handles just a little bit more wind, a lot better than the 65 series Whoops. So in my opinion, if you start with a 75mm, you're going to be much better off than the smaller 65mm. 65mm and below, we usually keep for indoor flying only. But again, comment and subscribe on this video if you want to get entered into that Eachine V2 drawing with the Commando 8. And don't reply to anybody saying that you won or pretending to be drone camps in the comments. We will announce this giveaway at the end of November in a video. That's why you need to subscribe on the channel. And again, check out our review of the Darkstar 20 if you want something a little bit bigger with DJI 4K on board and 1080p FPV video. You can also find the links down below for the Petrol V2, as well as my favorite 1S LiPo charger and storage charger, and my favorite 1S batteries. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'm Justin Davis. Please subscribe and check the notification bell for when new videos come out, and I will see you on the next one. Take care.